Hello again, this is Seiki7 again with another commentary for Disney vs. non-Disney villains, this time round 8. Let us begin. First fight, Saluk from Disney's Aladdin and the King of Thieves versus Ruber. You know, it's about time that you brought Ruber into a fight of his own, because he first appeared in the round 3 epilogue, and he finally makes an appearance in round 8. So yeah, it kind of took him a while. And I figured that he would have to fight someone as big and barbaric as Saluk. Because, yeah, I mean, they're both big, muscular men and fierce warriors, so it makes perfect sense. And it's nice to see you're using the Griffin, because there's another thing. You hardly ever see the minions, the henchmen, or the sidekicks in this series. They just don't have much of a role or much of an appearance in this series. Now we have Madame Medusa from Disney's The Rescuers versus Carface. Killer reports to Carface about Medusa being very close to finding the diamond known as the Devil's Eye, and Carface, being the greedy business owner he is, wants the diamond for himself, and he and Killer go out with their giant ray gun and try to blast Medusa. Which, of course, they aren't so good with. Yeah, sorry if I don't have a lot to say about this fight. It's a good fight, but I just don't have a lot to say about it. I do remember though Seventh Wind Man brought up that All Dogs Go to Heaven is his favorite non-Disney animated film, which I don't blame him. It's a good movie. It's a classic. And I know that this isn't the end of Carface, because, yeah, I mean, he still has quite a bit of footage. Now the next fight I have a lot to say about. Shere Khan from Disney's The Jungle Book, or in this case The Jungle Book 2, versus Claude Dandis from the 1994 German film Felidae. Red sends Claude Dandis to take out the Bengal tiger known as Shere Khan, which is ironic considering that Shere Khan is 10 times larger than Claude Dandis. And Shere Khan, I will say, is probably my all-time favorite Disney animal villain. Well, it's either he or Kaa, one or the other. And the movie Felidae I saw once, and it's a pretty brutal film. I mean, it had a good story. It was like a Sherlock Holmes type story, but it was just brutal. I mean, even though it's not rated, I'd say it was at least PG-13. You know what I mean here. Alright, there's just one thing I want to bring up right here. Yes, Claude Dandis' death was violent and all, but to me it was more sad than it was gruesome, because his last choice of words that is he was once a good cat. The thing is, Claude Dandis I would not consider directly evil, because if you've seen the movie Felidae, he was once a laboratory cat, and he was the first and only cat to survive a very horrific science experiment, which I forgot the purpose of it. I think it had something to do with genetic breeding. But yeah, it was that caused him to have a strong hatred towards humans. To him, there's no such thing as a good human, that all humans are bad, that only animals are good. Which, I guess, in a way, he's kind of right and wrong at the same time, because only humans have a sinful nature, and animals do not. What they do is just part of instinct. And the same deal with Shere Khan, I wouldn't really call him that evil either, because yes, he tries to kill Mowgli, but in his past life, he must have been shot at or hunted down by poachers or something that made him have a hatred towards humans. So what I'm trying to point out is Shere Khan and Claude Dandis are two villains that are in a category of villains that I just can't help but feel sorry for. Alright, now back to the fight. We have Yzma from Disney's The Emperor's New Groove versus Zelda from The Swan Princess 3, The Mystery of the Enchanted Kingdom. Ruber and Rothbart send Zelda to Yzma's secret laboratory to get some kind of potion, I guess. But Yzma already has it. Nice to see that you're finally using Yzma, because The Emperor's New Groove, I will say, is probably another one of my favorite Disney animated films. It was really good. As for Zelda, I don't remember much of her, because it's been forever since I've seen the Swan Princess 3. I do know that she once worked with Rothbard. That's about all I know about her. So yeah, I'm glad that Yzma won the fight. Now we have Dr. Facilier versus Puppetino from Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night. Stromboli is furious that Puppetino is stealing his spotlight, and goes to Dr. Facilier and pays him to take out Puppetino. Now, I understand why you only feature Stromboli in a storyline, because he doesn't have any fight footage, so it figures you have to put him in those series anyway. And one thing I find interesting about this interaction between Facilier and Stromboli, I just find so amusing, is that Stromboli is from Disney's Pinocchio, which was, I believe, the second or the third Disney animated film. It came out in 1940. And Dr. Facilier is from The Princess and the Frog, which came out in 2009. And he's one of the newer Disney villains. So what I'm trying to point out is, if you compare these two characters together, you get a really good idea how much of cartoons have changed over the past several years. I just thought that was really cool. Anyway, Facilier goes up to Puppetino, and I guess challenges him. And Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, it was an okay movie, I guess. But just like Disney's Pinocchio, this Pinocchio movie I thought was kind of horrific for children, I guess. Even though it is a children's movie, parts of the movie I thought were a little intensive. Like this scene right here where Puppetino gets turned into a puppet. So yeah. And I love Dr. Facilier's facial expressions, like right here. He's like, yeah, it's all cool. My work is done. Alright, so now we have Edgar from Disney's The Aristocats versus Caterwaul. Cruella de Vil hires Edgar to take out Caterwaul and his Cactus Cat gang. It's nice to see Edgar finally in the series, because, again, another very underrated, unappreciated Disney villain. He just doesn't get as much credit as other Disney villains. I mean, he's just a butler. And seriously, what is it with butlers being villains? I mean, there's a lot of cases in many movies and TV shows where the butler is the villain. I mean, I just find it very bizarre. And I'm guessing Edgar won this fight, because even though, yeah, he escapes, but he kind of fails to get rid of Cat. And finally, we have a CGI fight. Mother Gothel from Disney's Tangled versus Malthazar. This was a surprise to me. I did not expect to see Mother Gothel in the series, because at the time you started making the series, Tangled was a new Disney movie. Which is not a bad thing, because I like Tangled. It was a really, really good movie. And my mom really likes the movie. It's one of her new favorite Disney films. But I'm going to have to agree with History Buff on this, that Mother Gothel, yes, she's a good villain, just not a good Disney villain, because she doesn't have any magic, she doesn't have any minions, unless you count the Stabbington brothers, even though she used them to capture Rapunzel. But yeah, she's just not that great of a Disney villain. And I remember that History Buff also said that Rapunzel is one of his favorite Disney princesses, along with Ariel. I'll have to say that of all the Disney female characters in general, I think some of my favorites would be Jasmine, Belle, Ariel, Tiana, Rapunzel, Mulan, and Esmeralda, I think. You know. I mean, they're all good Disney characters and all. But it's nice to see Malthazar get involved in another fight, even though, like I said, I've never seen Arthur and the Invisibles. Now to the epilogue. Back in France, Frollo is still under Vanessa's spell, and is madly in love with her, and Ratcliffe tries to go over the war with him, but he can't get a word out of Frollo because he's in the spell. So, Ratcliffe has a meeting with Kent Mansley and Commander Rourke from Disney's Atlantis: The Lost Empire. And he sends Rourke and Mansley to help Captain Hook to take out the villain that he was after earlier in the war. Cruella de Vil calls Madame Medusa and forges an alliance with her, which I saw this coming, because I figure you have these two team up. They're just so similar.
Bravo. No mortal has ever made it to Tartarus before. Alive, that is. Make yourself at home.
And Ramesses crawls to Tartarus and meets up with Eris. Yeah, I figure you have to bring Ramesses back, because he still has quite a bit of footage left. And just like with Shere Khan and Claude Dandis, I wouldn't really consider Ramesses directly evil. Exactly.
I'd like to work with you if you don't mind.
Shere Khan has a war with Scar and Zira and tells them that Red was the one that sent Claude Dandis. And Red is also the one that killed Nuka, to Zira's delight. And Ruber meets up with Necron, the villain from Fire and Ice, and forges an alliance with him. And in outer space, the Dredge are coming. This is just getting awesome. And yes, the Dredge are from Titan AE, which I'll have to agree is one of the best non-Disney anime films that I've seen. I mean, it's one of my new favorites. It was just such a good movie. So yeah, this is my commentary on Round 8. So yeah, this is Secret Primal 7, and have a nice day.